Charlie Kirk lost his life. Erica Kirk lost her husband. 2 children lost their father. And a country lost a vocal leader, a debater. But guess what? This young man, Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, might have just caught the break of his lifetime by getting the judge that he got that's now overseeing his case. Tyler Robinson has been accused and is now sitting in a Utah County jail just outside, south of Salt Lake City by approximately 50 minutes. He sits in his jail, just making his second court appearance in front of the new judge, Judge Tony Graf. You're honorable, Judge. I'll even say you're honorable, all because of a very statement that he made. He took control from the very beginning of this case. And this is going to be a very, very difficult case. There's no doubt this judge is going to be under extreme pressure. But we're going to go over today, not only watching visually the way he conducted himself and the way he presented, the way he expects this to play out in his courtroom. It's a little different. It's a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. Innocent until proven guilty has not been widespread. It has not been visually seen by a judge in quite a while. If you look up at the Idaho 4 case with Judge Stephen Hippler, that man showcased, he 100% felt as though Brian Koberger, the assailant, was the committer of the crime and guilty. And that's before it ever even made it to trial. That was just in pre-trial hearings. Go on over to the Delphi case with Richard Allen. Judge Gold. Judge Gold gave no opportunity for innocent until proven guilty over that courtroom. But I'll tell you what, this man, Judge Tony Graf, let's remember that name because I think it's going to be key. In a high-profile case like the one Tyler Robinson, this young man right over here, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, suspected gunman, accused gunman, arrested gunman that took down Charlie Kirk, one shot from a rooftop, just beat, literally a very short distance away. It just seems as though there's so much about this case, as well as many others that we've been following, that doesn't add up or make sense. But the one good thing that we have, and this is the one solace that we have, is we finally have a judge that's willing to step up to the plate and make a statement like this.
As we are at the beginning of this case, it is my intent to only speak when I'm needed or it is necessary. But today I do wish to provide guidance and expectations that you can have for this court and wish to enter an order as well. As this case moves forward, Mr. Robinson's constitutional rights will be protected at every stage. He sits before this court presumed innocent, and that presumption remains unless and until each element of every offense charged against him is proved beyond a reasonable doubt. At the same time, and as applicable, victims are entitled under our Constitution to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, free from harassment or abuse. Justice demands that both of these principles, the rights of the accused and the rights of victims, be honored without compromise. I remain steadfast in my oath that I made 56 days ago to support and defend the constitutions of the United States and of Utah. I will carry out my duties with fidelity, transparency, and impartiality, treating every person who appears before me with the dignity and respect they are inherently due because they are human beings. Let me be clear. I will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and participate in these legal proceedings. Counsel, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice.
Now, that's called controlling the atmosphere, taking charge of a courtroom, laying the foundation of how this case is going to play out. And it's probably going to be a lot of evidence, a lot of discovery. The prosecution and the defense have already begun meeting and discussing that. So it's great to see that the teamwork between the council members are working together to try to get to the discoverable issues that seem to arise in every case and nullify those issues immediately. But I'll tell you what, as a defendant, this is a dream come true. When you get a judge, and I get it, many people are going to say, well, he's only been a judge in this Utah courtroom now since early May. Yeah, but that doesn't matter because look at how confident, look at how strong he is with the very words that he states. Now, let's go over a little bit of information about this judge because I think it's important that we get to know the very judge that's presiding over this extremely important case. Let's get his name out. This is your honorable judge. And look, it's rare that someone like myself, who's been through the system time and time again, really wants to say honorable before I say the words judge X, Y, and Z. But this man's already earning my respect. Now, let's hope that Honorable Judge Tony F. Graf Jr. holds course in exactly what he just had to say. Now, this man was appointed to Utah's 4th District Court just recently, May of 2025, by Governor Spencer Cox. But you have to understand, his education and his background is very diverse. He did not come from just a single small city and only stay and work in that single small city. This man has not only been through the states, the United States, but he's been out of the states working. Let's go over some of his career highlights. I think it's important to get to know the judge a little bit since I'm speaking so highly of him, even calling him honorable. He was a deputy county attorney for Davis County. He became the head of the special Victims Unit in Utah County. Now, that's a very difficult unit, ladies and gentlemen. The Special Victims Unit deals with some extremely sickening and devastating type of crimes, and he was the head of that special unit. Means he's got a backbone. He's got some inner buildings that probably keep him on an even keel and able to make decisions on very difficult situations. He became the Assistant Attorney General in American Samoa. He left the United States to become even more established in what he was driven to be. Special Assistant U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C. This man worked in our very capital of our country. Now, within the community, he was the past president of the Utah Minority Bar Association. He's a member of the Tulare City Council, and he's a faculty for judicial trainings and legal conferences. Not all of that makes sense, but I'm sure as we're going to dig in a little deeper and see him more in action, we'll learn more about those positions that he not only holds today, but what he's worked through in the past. Now, the key portion that we just watched his very words out of his mouth, but his role, what he's deeming is so important to him, his role in the Tyler Robinson case. Judge Graf has emphasized fairness and impartiality in this high-profile case. He sits before this court presumed innocent. Justice demands that both the rights of the accused and the rights of the victim be honored without compromise. Boy, that sounds really, really good. And I'm telling you right now, Tyler Robinson should be thanking every blessing coming his way that he did not get the type of judge that others, unfortunately, seem to fall trapped to and get. He's got one that believes in himself to prove guilty. What would Brian Coburn or Richard Allen or so many others have worked their way through the system give to have a judge that is open-minded and fair-minded to see somebody sitting in a defendant's chair? And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, at the very next hearing, this judge has deemed October 30th, Tyler Robinson will be in the courtroom. He will be there. He will be present. His defense team has now been named. We're going to break down in a new video coming out just after this. We're going to go over those members and the backgrounds of the defense team that will be defending the rights of Tyler Robinson and doing all they can with the discoverable evidence to seek truth and what truly happened in this situation, trying to prove the innocence of their client. Tyler has not spoken as of yet as to any of his involvement or what his motive could potentially be. There's a lot floating out and about. It's all over the place. This has become a very high-profile case, with Erica Kirk now becoming the very face of Charlie Kirks' businesses. She is now in everybody's eyes. Her voice is carrying, and this case is not going away until the truth is found. Tyler Robinson has a long road ahead of him. Prosecution team, which we will also take time to break down the members of the prosecution team. We will take time to go over Utah's death penalty, because that's right. The prosecution has already deemed that Tyler Robinson will be facing the death penalty in this case. I mean, unfortunately, these types of things, they are happening more and more in our country. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be one that shies away from the fact I actually believe in the death penalty. I think that people that commit such heinous crimes, that take fathers away from their children's, husbands away from their wives, children away from their parents, I believe that the death penalty could be key in resolving some of those crimes. It could be a very good punishment. Now, obviously, the death penalty is extremely difficult in our country now to actually happen and get through. It takes 30 to 40 years most times for somebody to get what I call put to sleep. But we'll see how Utah pursues and moves forward with this case, because it seems like there is a lot that's going to be laid on the Honorable Judge Tony Graf's plate that he's going to have to make decisions on. But one of the greatest things that I heard him say, one of the greatest things that he said, and I wish so many other judges would actually take notes and follow the very lead that this man led with in his statement. He doesn't want to get involved in the legal process of this. He doesn't want to impede the legal process of this case. He just wants to guide it through the system and ensure that the rights of Tyler Robinson and the victims are both attentively paid attention to and upheld. And that's key, because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if Tyler Robinson was the actual lone shooter or even the shooter itself. Does it look bad that his own family potentially turned him in? Probably. Does he look like a person resembling the very photos and the investigative releases of those photos? Potential. But until more details come out, and that's right, we're going to follow this case, we're going to cover this case, and we're going to get to those details. But first, we do have to give some respect to the honorable judge overseeing this based upon what we just saw in the second hearing for Tyler Robinson. I think good things lay before us, that we're going to have a better feeling of how this case works its way through the courtrooms. It takes a leader like the Honorable Judge Graf. They're hard to find nowadays, it seems. And like I said, as a defendant, it's truly a blessing to know that your rights are being protected. Maybe this is what we need more of on a day in and day out basis. And this could be a case that, in the very public eye, gives the foundation of forcing other judges to do the very same. Hey, I appreciate you joining me. I'm ARHayes. This is Convict's Thoughts. We bring a unique twist to true crime cases, and I would appreciate it if you would take just a little moment. Hit that like button. Leave me some comments. Give me some feedback. Share your opinions. And hell, if you even like me a little bit, subscribe if you already haven't. Have a great night. We'll talk again soon.